Last week, I went on holiday to a country that, at least in my home country, has a reputation for terrorists, landmines, and a regime that won't let you do anything. That's why I decided to make a video about Iran, where I will try to show you how it really is. Two things surprised me right from the start: the omnipresent propaganda and how open people are to criticism of the regime, even in public. We had an Iranian guy talking to us and then openly saying, "One day people will fuck this government." Iranians are some of the nicest people I have ever met. Everyone is so excited to see a European, and despite having a minimum knowledge of English, they try to at least welcome us and greet us in their country. I have been hosted and stayed with them twice, and they did not want to take anything in return. On the contrary, they kept pushing us to eat more, giving us more gifts. Another interesting thing about Iranian is that you would expect that in a Muslim country, all women will wear hijab. Yet, what I saw on the street was that about half of them wear just scarf and about 10% of them refuse to wear hijab completely. Obviously, it's city by city thing. So for example, in Qom, you will find only women with hijab. But in Shiraz, it's hard to find anyone who wears it. The further south you go, people are nicer and nicer. We had people stopping us just to read some poem or take a picture with us. Another interesting thing is their education. One candy store clerk spoke fluent Russian and talked to us about Plato and Aristotle. Everyone knows poetry, so even the graffiti is Hafez, their favorite poem. With the people comes security, where at least in Tehran, Shiraz, Isfahan, Qom, so all the cities I have visited, I felt safer than in some parts of Europe. Iran is a country of incredible diversity. We visited the second longest ski cabin and nearly froze to death on a Mount Tochal. We drove through inhospitable desert, smelled the roses in the Persian gardens. In the north you can see the beautiful green meadows, and in the middle of Iran you can see sandy desert. Basically, the only thing missing is the jungle. You can also see that in their shops, where everything except cafe is domestic, and the stores are so full that I was asking how can they manage. So now I will share what I learned about their economy. There are two currencies in Iran. First is rial, the official one, but they have too many zeros. $1 is 900,000 rials. So they created tomen. One tomen is 10 rials, so $1 is 90,000. There is an official exchange rate in Iran, but it fluctuates differently every day. Actually every 10 minutes. That's why you cannot trust online sources. In general, Iranian economy is an example to study. According to the online sources, rial is the weakest currency in the world, so you can find coins but nobody uses them. The average price of petrol per liter is 5 cents, so it's cheaper than water here. Some Iranians are celebrating this and some not so much. Because to keep gasoline this cheap, they have to support it financially. And why they do it? Because the government is afraid of protesting. Historic window. In 1935, Persia was renamed Iran. And what was Persia? Probably my favorite empire of all time. Persia was just a province, but Cyrus the Great was so clever that he managed to create a Persian hegemony. We can also say that the Cyrus the Great was chosen by three gods: Ahura Mazda, the god of Zoroastrian, Marduk, the god of Babylon, and Yahweh, the god of Jews. It is also written in the Bible that he led the Jews out of Babylon. Certainly, one of the greatest experiences of my life was walking through Persepolis and the tombs. Right next to these figures, 3,000 years old. The Persian Empire eventually ended with the conquest of Alexander the Great, even though some claim he was actually the last ruler of Persia. Either way, the empire fell apart after his death. It's so sad that the new government after the Islamic Revolution is actively trying to destroy all the pre-Islamic monuments. Fortunately, thanks to the people, Persepolis has been saved and this extremist current is waning. And in the end, we have the most important thing: food. Iranian cuisine is so diverse. For example, the north does not use hot spices, but the south in contrast has a lot of spices and hot dishes. It may vary from city to city, but I can try to make a sort of observation and guide. The basic combination of spices on the table for any dish is salt, pepper, sumac. Iranians love salty and sour, like their salty milk dogh. I'm sorry, but for me it's on the same level as ožujsko. As for sour, in Europe when you say word sour, we imagine only lemon or some sour candy. But here it is sumac, sour spices, I would describe it as a dried lemon, berberry, a tiny little fruit that you can find on almost every dish in Iran, and pomegranate molasses. Obviously, the kitchen couldn't do without saffron, which is everywhere. Here it is expensive for Persian, but cheap for us. The absolutely best thing about Persia is the sweets and drinks. They have an incredible selection of different chocolates and sweet, dry fruit and so on. Their ice cream bastani is so freaking good, even better than in Italy, which is no surprise because the Persian created ice cream. We also tried multiple times their non-alcoholic beer, and every time it was so damn good. And we even learned that we are not the only Czechs praising it. In general, you will find a huge variety of non-alcoholic beers, both sweetened and unsweetened. Surprisingly, there are also plenty of pizza places in Iran that do their style. There is no tomato paste on it, the base is just cheese. Then they put so many different toppings. And on the side you get ketchup and sauce. A lot of Iranians who live in Europe say they miss this Iranian pizza. And now, time for the kebab review. This kebab is pretty special. I was surprised they don't put sauces on it, you just get ketchup and tartar sauce on side. I would give it 5.5 out of 10 and Iran's gets 12 out of 10. Normally it would have gotten 10 out of 10, but it was just such an unexpected treasure and life-changing experience that it deserves nothing less but 12 out of 10. It is a sad story. Iran is a wonderful country with wonderful people, beautiful men and women, and endless potential. Yet because of the government, corruption, sanctions that only serves to keep the oligarchs in power, and thanks to the threat of war, life is not the best. Incredibly expensive housing, unemployment, but a new deal with America that was unthinkable until recently is casting a ray of hope on Iran.